Honorable fans from all around the world, welcome along to the European Aquatics Champions League Grand Final. The hunt for the Champions League glory ends here, and it's the final act of this season's Final Four. It's Recco versus Ferencvaros, two teams that had already met in the final played in Belgrade in 2021. And they're gonna meet again once more here at the Telkom Sports Complex. The winner takes home the most precious European club trophy of them all. I'm Leonardo Pavic, and it's a great pleasure to be with you guys tonight, to be your host. And I'm in a great company for this last game of the European season, because I'm joined by Norbert Madarash, first of all, the president of the Hungarian Water Polo Association. Welcome, Mr. Madarash. And Elvis Fatovic, the man who almost got to the Final Four as well with his Barceloneta, the head coach of that Spanish team. Mr. Fatovic, welcome as well.
Hello.
So, gentlemen, first question for both of you. Amazing matches in the semifinals. Norbert, I'm gonna start with you. I don't even remember the last time we saw that many excitement in the semifinals, especially we never saw the games being ended with the penalty shootout.
Yeah. All the two semifinals finished with the penalties. Yes, these four teams are very balanced. They are almost the same level. Maybe Recco has a little bit more experience as a team. They won a lot, and but all teams are the same, almost the same.
Elvis, your thoughts on the semifinals matches?
Well, I think that's so much excitement. Like, everyone wants to see the games like that. Could go on the both sides, but in the end, we have in the finals two teams who lost only one game this year. Ferencvaros in Champions League, Recco in the domestic cup. So obviously we have two best teams in the final.
When it comes to two best teams in the final, we're going to jump to the semi-final game, Recco versus Olympiacos. Let's take a look back how it all ended there.
This season's Champions League has come to the very end. In the first semi-final in Malta, the current European champion Recco and the Greek champion Olympiacos meet. Let us remind you that the Italians won the first place in their group, and the Greeks were second in theirs. Sandro Sugno's team opened the game fantastically. Gonzalo Echenique put them in the lead after Olympiacos had previously hit the crossbar from the counter-attack. Only a minute later, Recco won an extra player and realised it with a shot from the outside by Giacomo Cannella. A scoreless period followed, and then the Italians again earned an extra man. This time, Francesco Condemi scored with a precise shot from the left wing. We went to the first break with a convincing 3-0. In the second quarter, there was no scoring for a long time, and then, after 5 minutes, Hervoi Kolyanin's team finally scored their first goal in the semi-finals. The first shot of Konstantinos Genidonias was saved by the goalkeeper Marco Del Lungo, and then the Greek national team player shot brilliantly from the central position. The joy of Olympiacos did not last long. In the next attack, Recco retaliated. Aaron Younger received the ball on the left wing and made a great shot for the new +3. And then followed a period of great play by the Greek team. First, a minute and a half before the end of the half, Marton Vamos received the ball and shook the net with a powerful shot without wavering. The first part of the match ended with a score of 4-2. A dramatic finale followed. Vamos immediately brought the Greeks back into the game with a goal from the penalty. And then, a little less than 5 minutes before the end, Dimitrios Dimou scores a fantastic field goal. Olympiacos didn't stop there. A little more than 2 minutes before the end, Genidonias did the best after a deflected ball and put them in the lead for the first time in the game. However, in the next attack, Recco immediately came back. Francesco De Fulvio realised an extra player. By the end of the game, both had their chances to win after 32 minutes of play, but the score remained 9-all. The execution of the 5 metres started. The shooters were accurate in the first 2 series, and then in the third, Dimu missed for Olympiacos. In the 5th, Condemi scored for Pro Recco. And Del Lungo stopped Gilias's shot, and the celebration of the Italian team could begin. Pro Recco will thus play in the 4th consecutive final of the Champions League and try to reach the 4th title in a row. Olympiacos, on the other hand, will have to wait for their attempt to reach the 3rd cup. In the winning team, Younger and De Fulvio were the most effective with 2 goals, while captain Genadonias was the best for the Greeks with 3, while Marco Biac had 13 saves.
Elvis, I'm going to start with you this time. The club that has it all, has amazing quality players, has a great season so far as well, and a team that has a chance to write history. 4 times in a row, winners of the Champions League. No one has ever done it before.
Well, they really played really good. Last couple of years, they play really good. They play as a team. I think it's a huge difference what they play last 3 years, including this year and before, because they always had like individual quality amazing. But now they really looks great as a team, and they know how to win. And I don't know, they play so many games like that, and also they have experience from last year when they played with Ferencvaros in quarterfinal games. So of course that Ferencvaros had like 2 extraordinary players like Mandic and Disoma, and they have that individual quality. But I think this will be the game with the 2 different styles, like a Hungarian style with a lot of different second center forwards. They will look like with New Belgrade, they will try to find the victim in the Pro Recco team, but they have some weapon to respond on all of that, and they absolutely on every single position they have great individuals.
Norbert, so what is the weapon of Ferencvaros? As Elvis said, we saw them in the final, in the semi-final, in the quarterfinal. So plenty of experience when it comes to those final matches between from Ferencvaros and Pro Recco. Sorry.
I also have to say that that Recco has a very good team. They are experienced. They know how to win, and they swim a lot. They move a lot. If Ferencvaros can do the same things, and they won't be tired at the end of the game, it can be a very good game. And also Ferencvaros has a lot of quality, and I think the most important thing could be, and the most decisive, the difference between the 2 goalkeepers. Foga Shoma must be better than the Recco's goalkeeper. So I think it will be very important, because they are very good attackers, very good shooters, both sides. Without naming all of them, it's Mandic, Zaranki, Younger, Dena Schwarga. So the goalkeepers will be very important, and how to defend.
Let's hear what Sandro Sukno had to say before this final match.
Coach, the final is here. The game that you have worked all season is in front of you. Also, Ferencvaros is in front of you. What type of play you expect from Ferencvaros?
Yes, like you said, the last game of the season against Ferencvaros, for my opinion, 2 best teams of this season in the final of Champions League. One excellent team, especially with individual quality, offensive individual quality, with the extremely good players in the attack, but like always will be the key of the victory defense, our defense, and will be ready in that part of the game.
We saw in the semi-final that your team is able to play in a very, very high rhythm, and that was a big problem from Olympiacos. Will you try to do that with Ferencvaros also?
Again, we'll try it, and especially against a few their players, they're little bit difficult with the transition, and we'll be try to play in the more possible in the transition and do some offensive goal in the counter-attack.
Yeah, we saw in the semi-final for Ferencvaros that Dusan Mandic is again in great form. He scored 5 goals. How do you stop a shooter like that?
It's impossible to stop him. He is one of the best players, and he's not again. He always been one of the best players, one of the best offensive players, and will be try to be more aggressive with maybe some period of the game with the 2 players more concentrated on him, but we'll need to play defense altogether.
Coach Neki called you Real of water polo. Then what is Ferencvaros?
I don't know, but Real always win. That's important.
That's then good news for you.
Yes.
Thank you, coach.
Thank you.
We have less than 10 minutes before the end of our last water polo journey with the pre-game show together, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up real quick. Norbert, we have less than 10 minutes left, so quick question. What's the recipe for tonight? You said some components before. I have to admit, I have to be honest, half of it I didn't hear, so we have to repeat it one more time. What's the recipe for tonight's final?
As I mentioned before, I wait a very physical game, and as we see in the semi-final, Recco against Olympiacos, they started with a very big speed. They swim a lot, they move a lot. So Ferencvaros has to be equal in this. So they have to do the same and stay in the match as late as possible with a very good defense and with a very good goalkeeper. As I told you, Fogel Schoma maybe is the key. He has to be the best.
Quick break once again with the wrap-up of the first semi-final game.
The second semi-final also brought extremely high quality and an even match. The first place team from the quarter-final Group B, Ferencvaros, and the second place team from Group A, Novi Beograd, fought for the final. The champions of Serbia tried to reach the third final in a row, and the champions of Hungary to the first final since 2019. The start was very even. The Fradi took the lead with an extra player after Vendel Vigvari scored at the end of the attack. Dusko Piedlovic retaliated, also with numerical advantage. From that moment on, it was goal for goal. No one managed to break away. The very end of the first quarter was interesting, when 15 seconds before the end, Stylianos Agriopoulos escaped the Beograd defence and brought his team back to the lead. But just a second before the end, Dusko Piedlovic received the ball in front of the goal and equalised again. It was just the beginning of the series of Živko Gocic's team. In the first minute of the resumption, Angelos Vlachopoulos put them in the lead with an outside shot. Nikola Lucic took care of the team's first lead of 2 goals, also with a precise shot from outside. However, this seemed to anger the Ferencvaros players. Immediately in the next attack, Eduardo Di Salma scored beautifully to reduce the deficit. After that, Daniil Merkulov exploded, turning the score around with 2 consecutive goals. The score was 7-6 at half-time. Despite the fact that they played without their 2 best players, the current European runners-up came better in the last 8 minutes. With the goals of Vlachopoulos and Milos Chuk from the penalty, they completely came back and the result was tied. It was just a prelude to the dramatic finale. Immediately in the next attack, the Fradi gained a new lead, with a goal by Merkulov with an extra player from the left wing. From that moment, almost 5 minutes were played without a goal, and then Chuk equalised again with an extra player. By the end of the game, there were no more goals, so the finalist was decided by a 5-metre shot. The drama was also seen in the shooting. The performers were very precise. In the first 4 series, neither Ferencvaros nor Novi Beograd players made any mistakes. The last, the 5th series decided. Agriopoulos scored first for the Hungarians, and then Soma Vogel stopped Dimitrios Skumpaki's shot. Both semi-finals were thus decided in the most dramatic possible way. Novi Beograd missed the opportunity to win the first title, and Ferencvaros will try to win the second one against Pro Recco. Mandic scored 5 goals in the winning team, while Vlachopoulos scored 4 in the losing team.
Okay, Elvis, a really creative question that you will probably not expect. The recipe for Pro Recco.
Well, as Norbert mentioned before, the goalkeepers will be important. But I think for all the big games, big competition, the defense is the key. And if Recco start to play like they start to play with Olympiacos, when they almost locked the door for the 2 quarters, when Olympiacos, who is an absolutely great team, they didn't create the chance, and they really played excellent excellent defense with the press, different type of zone, with a lot of counter-attacks. That will be for them very, very important, because in attack they have so many weapons. They have amazing shooters on the both sides, the left, right side, center forwards. So they are really powerful, but definitely the key will be the defense, and they put a lot of attention on that.
Last portion of the short pre-match interviews. Here's Balázs Nyeki, the head coach of Ferencvaros.
Coach, the final game is here. What have you prepared for Pro Recco?
You know, it's very difficult to prepare against Recco. This is the best team of the world. Always we say, and everybody say, that they are the Real Madrid of water polo, so it's not just about the tactics. They have the biggest experience in the finals, so I don't think that the tactic will decide. We have the basic tactic, they have the basic tactic. We know to each other, but this year this will be the first to meet, so I hope we can win the match.
The semi-final was a very, very hard physical battle with a lot of contact. Do you expect a similar game today? Because we saw Recco that was trying to swim really, really a lot in their semi-final.
Yes, similar game on a higher intensity, I think, because Recco makes the highest intensity in water polo. I hope we have the second best intensity, and so it will be a very, very tiring game because of both of the teams. It will be a nice night. I hope everybody will enjoy it.
You made one change in the team. Instead of one player, you have Nemeth in the team.
Yes, 2 changes actually, that Nemeth will play instead of Molnar, and Paul will play instead of Damonte. So we played in 2 positions. I hope it can help for us also, because they can give us more and fresh energy.
If Pro Recco is Real, are you Barcelona?
I like Barcelona. My favorite team in football, after Ferencvaros, of course. But I hope it will be a big rivalry in the next some years. But this is the first step, and I hope we will win the match.
So, gentlemen, Balázs Nyeki said Pro Recco is the Real Madrid of the water polo world. How about that?
Yes, we can say that. They are similar. The whole organization was made for winning trophies. They have everything. As Elvis mentioned, they have all the weapons. They have everything to win. Yes, in water polo, we can say that Recco is like Madrid. Yeah.
Elvis?
He must to say that he played in Recco, so that's obvious.
I mean...
But no, on side. With all this trophy, no one can deny that. So.
Okay, so I know you guys hate this question, but we know what you're going to answer, so don't worry. The prediction for the final is, obviously...
I don't want to say anything, but yes.
Okay,
yes.
yeah, we know.
You know my opinion.
Yeah, Elvis.
I think that Recco is the slight favorite for this game.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me once again. You can go to your places, to your seats now, and calmly enjoy the game, hopefully.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you once again for joining us on our pre-match shows. Enjoy the game, and hope to see you next season as well.